Hi everyone, and welcome to the Lure Fishing Project. This is the Western Australian Kayak Bream Series 2025 Grand Final. This one was held on the Blackwood River in Augusta on the 15th and 16th of November in 2025. It's a cool little event, and I think you're going to take something away from this. So let's roll the intros, and we'll get into it. Here we go.
Welcome to the Lure Fishing Project, where Australia's best lure anglers share their tips and stories to help you catch more fish and have more fun on the water. Here's your host, Andrew D.
All right, so in terms of the kayak round, I don't think you can have three better guests from Coops through to Alex, and then, of course, Joseph coming out on top for this one. He has been on a stellar run. All right, let's get into the bite periods and what have you. 42 in the fish activity wheel with a major bite period from 7:13. So we had 42 in the fish activity wheel with a major bite period from 7:13 through to 9:43 a.m. The minor bite period was at 1:49 through to 3:19 p.m. with a high tide at 7:59 at 0.57 of a metre, running down to a low tide at 2:14 p.m. at 0.45 of a metre. On the Sunday, slightly better conditions in terms of fish activity, having just 52 in the fish activity wheel. The major bite period was the only one that fit into the tournament time zones at 7:54 a.m. through to 10:24. High tide was at 9:30 at 0.53, running down to a low tide at 1:30 at 0.49. All right, here we go. Here's Coops. Okay, so coming in third place, we have an angler dropping 3 fish on Saturday for 1.56 kilos, backing it up on the Sunday with another 3 fish bag of 1.72, giving him a total of 6 fish for 3.280. With me on the line, I have Greg Cooper. Welcome back to the show, mate.
Thank you, Andrew.
Mate, nice little result there on the weekend, and right up in the mix with the other guys.
Yeah, not enough, but anyway, I'm happy to come home third. It was we had a really good fun weekend. That was it for me. I never lost any big fish, and couldn't find that kicker. So
okay,
yeah, no, I'm happy with the third.
Yeah, I think third's pretty good going. Tell us, mate, what did you do in terms of leading into the comp? Did you get out for a pre-fish, or what was your preparations like?
Yeah, I spent 2 days actually. I was 2 days in the Scott because I was trying to find another spot to go to. I went down the front and had a look around, and I just struggled to get any bigger fish than probably 30 forkers. So I thought, I know I can get probably 1 or 2 bigger ones up the river. So that was my plan. That was my pre-fish. I was going to head up river on the comp day.
On the comp day, and with the heading up river, were you looking at targeting with hard bodies or plastics or blades, or what were you looking at doing?
Well, what I do, at the Friday night before around the campfire, I had a bit of a whisper that the commercial netter had been up the river leading into the event, and I thought to myself, gee, I haven't seen him in the river this time of year. So I basically tied on clips on all my rod. I had 3 rods and tied a clip on it, and I had a little Tupperware container of soft plastics and vibes and bent minnow, and so I started at the launch actually, straight across from the caravan park.
Yeah,
because I know that he doesn't net in front of the caravan park. So I thought, well, I'll just start there and head my way upriver and see if I can find where he hasn't been.
yeah, okay,
So, yeah.
Okay. And what sort of clip are you liking?
They're a little snap clip. They're 13 a dreidel. I think they're size SS, and they're you can just put them on anything really, a lure or jig head, and so I got 3 fish there pretty quick.
Right.
What did I get them on? I got them on I think I got them on a motor oil bait junkie.
Yeah. Okay.
Started off with that, and then I slowly headed upriver and tried a few, what's this thing called, a Strike Pro Hummer, which you can throw a long way and cover a lot of ground. It doesn't sort of, the hookup rate's not that good, but you get a lot of feedback with taps.
Mm-hmm.
So you can then throw another rod, which has probably got a slim swim or a wave minnow on it, and or a baby vibe.
Yeah.
And check out what's there.
Yeah,
and then just keep moving up. But we're just plagued with small fish all the way up the river. It wasn't until about, I reckon, probably 10 or 11 o'clock. The fish I had in my bag were only like 24, 25 and 26 forkers, real small.
Yeah, okay.
And then I got a 32 forker on a blade, or what's it, Norrie's jigging vibe.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's a green one. It's called a jigging ZX by Norrie's. It's green.
Yeah, okay.
Not sure of the colour, but it's green and it's got a set of assist hooks on it.
Yeah, cool.
So then that was it. I got a 32 in there, and then I kept going up further, and another bank, and I got another 31 forker.
Mm.
So now it's starting to look not getting a bit better.
That's getting better.
32, 31 and a 29.
Yeah.
That's right. Then I got a 29. So
I was going to say that.
I kept going upriver and sort of didn't get much upgrades, and then worked my way back into the wind.
Yeah.
I ended up throwing on the way back a VX35 in olive colour because it was really windy, and I couldn't throw the soft plastics into the wind properly, so I put on the vibe. But I caught a few fish with that, but the hooks keep getting tangled up on it. I don't know what the way I use them or not, but the front hook gets tangled around the toe line, and
yeah, okay, yeah.
I might not. I don't use them very often, but I only put that on because we're heading back into the wind. So
yeah, that could have something to do with it too, just casting into the wind. So
yeah. But that was about it for me day. It was
yeah, that's a good mix of lures, like the Hummer. It's only been mentioned a couple of times in all the recordings I've done, yet it was quite popular back in the day.
Yeah, it's the I don't know the colour or the number of it, but it's sort of like got a greeny or dark back on it and a shiny belly, and you can throw them a long way and they sink real quick.
Yeah,
they're a good little lure. They're good for some reason they don't hook up that great for the fish, but they get the bottom pretty quick.
That's right. I mean, for a vibe, they've got that unusual shape. I think they curled out the back a little bit. It was just a little bit different.
Little pointy tail on them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, the other thing I did do too was I went into threw a bent minnow around for a while on day one, just to play around with, and nothing happened. So yeah.
Nothing happened. Okay. So yeah, I haven't heard of any surface at this point. So all right. So look, you came back on the Saturday with 1.56, which would have had you maybe 7th or 8th?
Fourth.
Fourth. No, you're a bit better than that. From 4th.
Yeah, 4th.
Right within striking zone. All right. What was your plan going into the Sunday?
Sunday was exactly the same, but skipped the areas I didn't catch fish.
Yeah.
So started a bit further upriver, not that far from the boat ramp from the start. Started off with what did I start off with? I think I started off with that VX35, I think.
Okay.
Or the Jackal Chubby. Anyway, a Jackal, what do you call it, Vibe?
The Vibe.
Black Vibe.
Yep.
And didn't do any good, so it wouldn't matter what I threw. Anyway, I kept going up and up, and I caught a really big squire actually, which I thought was a good fish, and I was so disappointed because it had me running around for a while. So, which is unusual to catch one of those in the river. So anyway, I headed up, and it was probably 10 o'clock. I had no fish, and I was going past the guy that was running second on day one, and he'd already got his fish. And anyway, I thought, oh, Jesus, okay. So I keep going, and it wasn't until about I followed Alex into a little bay.
Yeah.
It was probably about 11 o'clock. Oh no, probably about 10 o'clock. And I caught a small one behind him, which was a 25 forker, I think. I thought, oh, geez, okay. So anyway, I kept going up. But anyway, I ended up getting another fish on a wave minnow close in the shore.
Yeah.
And then that's right. I kept going upriver. I've got to think about this. We were moving around a lot. And I was going from one side of the river to the other. Everyone seemed to have fish, but small fish.
Yeah.
I only had two. And then I got up right up the ski field, and I see Ben Oakes coming back, and he said, how you going? I said, I've only got two. He said, I've only got two as well.
Right.
So that was about 11:30. Or, yeah, probably about 11:30. And then I went up a bit further, and there was a spot where I've caught bigger fish before, and I put on a bait junkie minnow.
Minnow, yeah.
In gold fleck or gold flash or something.
So it's the clear one with the glitter in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. It's green on top and a bit of a silvery side on it.
Okay.
And got a good one, which was a 31 forker. So then
that's better.
Yeah. And then the day one I went too far and I was rushing getting back. So I turned around and headed back down river. And then fished my way back. And one of the bends, I got a 32 forker.
Okay. I
had a 31, 32, and a 29. Okay. And then I caught about 5 or 6 29 forkers on the way back, and that was it, really. And all on that Norris Jiggin ZX.
Yeah, Jiggin ZX. Yeah, I looked that up. So that's the little one with the stingers on the back.
Yeah, and throwing it into the wind.
Yeah, okay. Interesting.
It was.
I do know that lure. I just haven't seen it for a long time.
Well, a mate of mine, he told me about it, and I bought one. I just had it in my box, and I thought, I'll throw that. And when you put it under the UV light, it shows up a lot of UV in it.
Yeah, okay.
It comes out really green.
Yeah, and I think it looks like it's called maybe olive green, or has it got a little bit of fleck in it? There's two green ones.
A little bit of.
Yeah, a few dots on it, maybe.
It's got bright green flecks in it.
Yeah, okay, so it's called Joker.
Joker. That's
070.
You put a UV light on that, and it comes up real bright green.
There you go, mate.
So yeah, so that's about it, really. No way chasing down them front guy. I was actually the guys who were second and third. They all fell apart. So it was only Alex and I that got a bigger bag on day two, really.
Yeah, yeah. And Alex got a much bigger bag. So,
yeah.
So yeah, that's it.
Joey, they got the kickers.
They did get the kickers. That's an interesting comp, Greg. You used a bunch of different lures to get your result.
Mainly because this native business and most of the fish are out. We normally fish from the kayak into the shore.
Yeah.
But one of the one I got on the first day, the bigger one, for some crazy reason, I threw it out in the middle of the river, and I caught the fish probably, 20 or 30 metres from the boat in the middle of the river.
Right.
That was my biggest fish. So that set the benchmark for the going forward. The fish were out deep.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Whether it's because they're frightened from the netter, or I don't know, or what it was, because there was no current, there was no tide, there was no current, there was no extremely low tide.
Yeah, that's right.
I really don't know. We haven't caught them out in the middle of the river like that. No. Nearly all my fish came from 20 metres out, away from structure. Nothing around structure.
Yeah, that's
really weird.
Yeah, really interesting observation.
and a lot of them were milking as well. So whether they're still in spawning. So
what's the salinity like at the moment? Was the water clear or how was it?
not too bad.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't have a sounder, so I don't carry a sounder because I've got too much stuff on my boat now. It's in the way. So I don't know what the water's doing, but it's not dirty.
It's not dirty. Yeah, that was what I was looking forward to see what it was like. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So in regards to your lines and leaders, what sort of leaders were you running for the weekend?
I have one rod that's set up just for throwing soft plastics into the tea trees, which is like an edge rod, quite a heavy rod. That's got 7 pound Yamatoya.
Okay.
Then I got another edge rod which has got 5 pound J finesse. I think it's called J thread.
Yep.
Yeah, probably about 3 lengths of 5 pound.
Okay.
And then I got a lighter rod which has got 4 pound J thread.
Yeah, wow.
Probably straight through, probably about 6 or 8 meters of that.
Yes, okay. So very long leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay. All right. Well, mate, that's a really interesting rundown of the comp. Obviously good enough to bring you back in third place. And what do you get to take home for third place in the grand final?
$300 cash.
Nice.
A camp start and $100 voucher from Getaway Outdoors, which is an unusual prize. Well, I mean, 3-burner companion stove, a camp stove.
Yeah, that's unreal.
And then a prize pack which had a fair bit of Force Lewis stuff in there, some soft plastics and what else they get?
Bent minnows and stuff.
And some atomic hard bodies and some atomic leader.
Yeah, okay.
That's about it. I think prize pack some Hobie gear.
Yeah, nice.
I've got it spread out here on the table here because I forget everything. A Hobie wet bag and a vintage seat accessory bag.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, now they're good.
So that'll go good on my kayak. So so that I was quite happy with all that.
Absolutely. That's quite good. I like the camp stove, something different, which is good. So very good. All right, mate.
All right.
Last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Oh, look, the other competitors, I always forget about them, but they all have to travel down, and we all stay in the campsite and sit around the fire and have a few beers, and I just love those 2 or 3 day events. They're great, and Getaway Outdoors put on the sausage sizzle and
nice
each day, and Alex and Dave and Joey for running the comp. They just do a good job. It's just fantastic. So I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, but it's a great venue and a great mob of blokes. It's good fun.
Very, very good. All right, Greg. Well, mate, congratulations. Thanks for coming on again, and I will talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Okay, so coming in second place, we have an angler dropping 3 fish for 1.42 kilos on Saturday, backing it up on Sunday with 3 fish for 2.19, which included a kicker of 0.92, giving a total of 6 fish for 3.61. I have Alex Griesdorf. Welcome back to the show, mate.
Hey, g'day, Andrew. How you going, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. And I want to speak to the listeners at the moment. This is the third time we've tried to record this, couple of technical difficulties. So straight up, I want to say thanks to Alex for jumping back on.
No, it's all good, mate. It's all good.
So, yeah. All right, mate. Aside from that, look, all in all, you ended up with a pretty decent result on the Kayak Grand Final.
Yeah. No, it was a good weekend. That's 2 years in a row I've managed second, which is a bit frustrating, but that's okay. That's fishing, I suppose. I'd rather be up the pointy end in the big chips event of the year, which is good. But yeah.
Yeah, and look, as the listeners will hear, definitely second, but only a couple of small things to change, and it would have ended up being a first as well. All right, so mate, leading into this competition, what did you do in terms of getting ready and pre-fishing? How'd you get ready for the comp?
Yeah, I managed to get down there. There was a Beto comp on, and there was about 100 tinnies running around on the river, which made it interesting.
So, mate, you're down there with about 100 other betos running around.
Yeah, so it made it interesting, but it did give me a chance to use my electronics a fair bit, which was good.
Yeah, okay.
So I sort of scanned around on the river using my active target and that, looking around, and sort of had an idea where fish were around and hanging about without catching many of them.
Okay.
But I mean, I've got a pretty good knowledge of the river, so I knew I had a bit of a plan.
Yeah.
And during spring, the conditions tend to change a fair bit here in WA. So 3 weeks out from the comp, I knew things would change a bit, and they definitely did.
All right. So that was the last time you fished before the Saturday?
Yeah, the last time I fished the Blackwood, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, let's run into Saturday and tell us a bit of how your day started.
Yeah, look, Saturday we woke up, had a look down the water, and put my kayak in the water. It was quite temperate. It was nice and warm in the morning. It wasn't really cold or anything like that. So the water temperature had definitely come up a little bit from my pre-fish. So I just kind of went looking for some old school spots that I'd caught fish on for years in the past, and found a whole bunch of fish schooling straight up, and they were just little ones. I caught a bunch of 15 to 20 centimeter brim for the first half hour, 40 minutes or so, and then I started moving on from there. Managed to flick a joey mussel, a little pygmy mussel into a big snag, and I hooked a proper kegger.
Yeah,
but he unfortunately shook my hooks after reefing him out of a snag. Unfortunately, I didn't get to land that fish, which ultimately definitely would have cost me winning. But it was a bit frustrating. I didn't have any in the well and then lost the kegger. After that, I just kept moving around and fishing and just going through my normal run of banks and stuff that I like to fish, and slowly started picking up a few fish here and there. A couple of old school spots. I managed to pick up a couple of decent legals after I lost that big one. So, just used my knowledge on the river. Ended up getting a mediocre bag, which wasn't so mediocre in the end because I was still sitting in fifth spot, so it was not as bad as I thought it was.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a river system. You can't lose it on the first day, but you still got to be within striking distance on the first day because there's not a lot of big fish. So you really got to make it count when you hook one. And I definitely didn't make it count on day one. I lost that one, and I did lose another fish as well that felt pretty sizable, but I didn't see it.
Yeah.
So that was just unfortunate, but that's just fishing on the Saturday. I got my fish on Saturday on a variety of stuff, from Joey's pygmy mussels to Z-Mans on Slim Swims and grubs. And what else did I catch fish on? That was pretty much most of what I caught fish on day one.
Yeah.
After day one, I was like, I'm not that far behind. I'm only 500-600 grams or whatever it was, which is not insurmountable, but it's a bit of a challenge.
Yeah,
so,
especially when you're chasing Joseph.
Yeah, he's got that place pretty sussed. It still baffles me that nobody goes and visits him in his little creek that he fishes. But it's he's definitely got that place wired, put it that way.
Yeah, fair enough. And did you notice any patterns with the brim? Like, were they sitting tight to the bank or out in the middle, or what was it like for you?
Not really on Saturday. I didn't really key in on a pattern. I probably fished a little bit wrongly now in hindsight, thinking of how I was fishing. But I worked that out on Sunday and it paid off.
Okay.
I definitely cost myself there, but I mean, sometimes that's fishing. You gotta try different things instead of sticking to something just because you caught a couple of fish on it. Sometimes you got to move around a little bit.
Yeah.
So and I sort of made that mistake a bit on Saturday, but I definitely covered a lot of ground and fished a fair bit of area, so I had a good idea what was going on.
Yeah, sure. All right. Well, what do you say? You're in fifth place or fourth place overnight?
No, I think it was fifth place overnight. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So right up there. Tell us about Sunday. What was your plan and sort of how'd you go about it?
Yeah, Sunday I had a plan of much of the same, except I was going to push further up the river where obviously it was cleaner water. Nobody had fished up there.
Yeah.
So to start my day, when I got down to the ramp, it was real still conditions, so there was no wind or anything. So I thought, I'm just retie and put on a Bream prime just for the first half hour of the day until the wind comes up, and just pitch it at the tea trees and stuff. And turned out to be a good choice, because my first cast on a tree limb that I flicked at, I got a 33 forker, so which is a pretty good legal for the Blackwood. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that was my first cast of the day, and while people are paddling past me, I was putting a fish on my live well, which was good.
That's very good. That's very good. Better start, mate. So.
Yeah, 100%. So that was a good start. And I mean, on Sunday, I got a bag pretty quick. I got a bag in the first probably half hour, 40 minutes or so.
Okay.
Not a big bag, but I got a bag. And then I just slowly started working my way up the river from there. I definitely had another opportunity on another big fish.
Yeah.
So that kind of gave me the confidence that I was doing the right thing.
Sure.
And I sort of continued that through the day. Caught fish all day. I reckon I would have caught probably 30 legals all day.
Okay.
So I caught plenty of fish, and I threw back a bag bigger than what I weighed in on day one, which was even more frustrating.
Yeah, but a good thing. So
a good thing, mind you, it is a good thing. So, but yeah, definitely a different technique. Fish a lot of leader. Once that wind came up, and the fish you had to fish really slow, but they were there.
Yeah,
You weren't getting lots of fish the way I was fishing, but you were getting the right fish, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And what were you on? Were you on slim swims or grubs or?
A variety of stuff, grubs and swim swims mainly. Yeah. So, grubs in the gudgeon color.
Okay.
Giving them little slow little hops along the bottom.
Yeah.
And then slim swims just kind of rolling in the. I sort of worked it out that there was a fresh layer on the surface, on the surface of the water.
Yeah.
So I was trying to keep my slim swim in 2 meters of water, 2 to 3 meters of water, but I was rolling it at about a meter deep.
Right.
So
Okay.
kind of fishing mid water.
Yeah.
Not necessarily rolling it on the bottom.
Okay.
And I think the fish were sitting in that salt wedge thermocline just under the fresh, and then they would come up and feed into it.
Yeah.
And that's where I was presenting my lure, and it was catching them. So I was talking to Ben afterwards, and he was saying maybe that's exactly what they were doing. And thinking about it now after the fact, I reckon that's exactly what they were doing. It definitely was different than what I was fishing with earlier on the weekend. And like I said, it paid off. I got probably 8 to 10 fish over 30 fork on day 2, which most of the guys were weighing in fish at 400 gram fish.
Yeah.
And those are sort of 500 gram plus fish. So
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. How'd you clue into it? Would you get it on sonar or?
No, I could see the freshwater layer on the sonar, and I could see fish schooled up on the drop off. So I knew they were there.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of small ones in amongst them as well. So, it was just the areas that I was fishing was more, and the bigger ones just seemed to react better to that technique. So I covered a lot of ground. I did fish a lot of different areas. Not always areas that I've done really well. And funnily enough, I caught my biggest fish of the weekend on a pretty obscure little spot that I've caught good ones at before, but not for years. I've not caught a good one off it for probably 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, right.
And pulled a 900 gram fish off it on Sunday. So
yeah,
it's funny how that works sometimes, but
absolutely. Very good, mate. That's an interesting story. All right. I think that probably covers the fishing, except for lines and leaders and that sort of stuff. Do you use light lines and did you run scent?
Yeah, just my old faithful stuff that I always use. I think I'm down to my last few spools of Yamatoyo 4-pound leader, which is a shame. Down to my last little bits of that Yamatoyo 4-pound, or I was using Sunline 5-pound leaders on day one. And I had 8-pound leader on my Bream prawn.
Yeah.
For when I fished that, I think that was Chinu or whatever it was.
Chinu Harris, yep.
Yeah, running my duff rods and just my dial, Surtate reels. I think it's a lot of about what you got confidence in fishing. So I tend to fish what I got confidence in.
Yeah, 100%. All right, mate, for coming in second, what did you get to take home?
I got a Shimano combo, which is I think a Vanford reel and I couldn't remember the name of the rod. It's
an Artiesta or an Ascenza?
A Senza, I think it is.
Yep.
Is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah. Picked up one of those and a Vanford reel and $500 cash.
Wow.
As well as a tackle pack from the sponsors.
Yep. Did you get an esky or something as well?
No, not me. That was Coops.
That was Coops. Okay, I saw someone at the weigh-in. So
yeah. Coops got a Coleman esky thanks to the Getaway crew.
Very nice.
So we tend to get some different prizes, which is good.
Yeah, I've seen some good stuff come through there. All right, mate. Yeah. Look, last thing before we shoot off, once again, I want to say thank you for your patience with this one. It's been a tough one to actually make happen. But aside from that, who is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
No, just mainly the guys that looked after me. I mean, Steve from Duff's has always hooked me up with my Duff rods, and the boys at Tackle West have always looked after me with my Z-Man stuff from over the years. So just those guys and Lawrence, obviously, for hooking me up with electronics and that. And just all the sponsors for the series. I mean, without the sponsors, we can't run the events in WA, and that's just part and parcel of it. So I mean, from the local tackle shops in Perth, from Getaway Outdoors, Tackle West, and Complete Angling and Camping, and those guys, to all the sponsors from all of our sponsors that chuck out gear for the events as well. So without those guys, we just don't. We don't get the rewards. So, and that same goes with Hobie as well. Hobie are a big sponsor of us for the kayak series and that. And it's good.
Yeah, and mate, we're going to see a bunch of you guys heading across to New South Wales for the Hobie Grand Final or AC.
Yeah, I think there's 3 or 4 of them going over for that. So might even be more than that actually. Because I think I know Coops is going, Ben's going, Joey's going. I think Adrian's going.
Yeah.
And Trav's gone. So there's at least 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So, just make sure Joey doesn't win again, please. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of him winning.
Mate, we can't have.
You can tell all the East Coasters I have to fish against him every comp over here, and he's really not that easy to beat in a kayak.
Yeah.
Right? He's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, mate, you want to fish against the best.
Yeah, that's it. So. Me and him got a good little rivalry going. He's pretty good in his kayak on the Blackwood. I'll give him that.
Very good, mate. Well, hey, 1-2, that's pretty fun. So
that's it exactly.
So yeah, all right, mate. Look, fantastic. That was great to have a chat, and mate, good luck in the boat grand final coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, no worries, mate. That should be fun, and hopefully Albany puts on the jets for some big fish around.
Sounds like a plan. All right, mate. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, buddy. Have a good one.
Okay, so coming in first place, we have an angler dropping 3 fish on Saturday for 2.16, backing it up on Sunday with a 3 fish bag of 1.74, which gave him a total of 6 fish for 3.9 kilos and the win. I'd like to welcome back to the Bream Fishing Project, Joseph Gardner. Welcome back, mate.
Thanks, Andrew. Good to chat again.
Mate, the winning continues, mate, or being on the podium at least.
It's good in my favorite venue to fish as well. So I'm really happy with this one.
Definitely, and the way this year started was with you winning on the Blackwood, and the way it finished is with you winning on the Blackwood.
Yeah, and pretty much the exact same bag weights as well, like within 10 grams, I think it was.
That's right, and I'll read those out. So the round 1 results were 1.78 day 1, 2.13 day 2 with a kicker of 910 and 3.910, which is just 10 grams more than what you just did on the weekend.
So very, very similar. It's amazing what just one kicker fish can make a difference just one of the days, especially on the Blackwood. It seems there's a lot of similar sized fish, and if you can just get one good one, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, and I think that's what Alex said is you're never out of it because one kicker can bring you home.
Definitely.
Very good. All right, mate. Let's dive into this one. what did you do in terms of pre-fishing and getting ready for the comp?
Yeah, we had a 2-week ban. So being all of our events this year, we've done a 2-week ban. So I did manage to get down, not on the weekend 2 weeks before, but I took a Wednesday off and woke up at 2 a.m., made the mad drive down there and fished for probably 4 hours and then off the water and drove home. So was driving for longer than I was fishing.
Right, went home, went to bed.
Yeah, so it was really windy the couple of weeks prior, so I didn't really get to fish a lot of the downriver stuff in the pre-fish, but I ran around and fished a lot of other spots, which in hindsight, none of the spots I caught fish really had water in it in the comp anyway. We ended up with really low tides in the comp, lower than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of run in the tides either. Like it was like 0.57 high to 0.45 low.
Yeah.
There's not much going on there.
And we still had quite a bit of a fresh runoff as well. So it was really just running out the whole time, both days. There really wasn't any push in. Obviously, the overnight high probably had fish up on the edges a little bit more. And then, they moved into only some specific spots I found. So,
sure. Between the two comps, between the start of the year and now, was there much difference in terms of where the fish were?
A little bit. So this comp just gone, I probably found them shallower, especially on day 2, which we'll touch on in a bit, I guess. But they were a lot shallower than I'd usually fish, but still the same key areas. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. All right, let's roll into comp day. You got a great bag on day 1 of 2.16. Tell us how that came about.
Yeah, so headed straight down. So actually the night before the comp, Mods came up and said where he wanted to fish, which was one specific snag downriver. And we both said, we'll see who gets there first. He had a couple of spots to stop off first. I was going to stop a little bit early as well. It just so happened I got down to there first and pulled that 990 gram out of there. It was, I think, 720. That it hit the net, but he was right next to me. So he had just come down at the same time and were within casting distance of each other. And turns out he actually thought it was a snag around the corner a little bit, not the one that I caught the fish off. That we thought we were talking about the same snag, but he managed to fish what he wanted to fish just around the corner. And I pulled that big one out of one specific little snag that always has done me well for a good fish.
Yeah, nice. Well, that sounds like a pretty good way to start a grand final.
It was. So that was the first fish in the bag. Day 1 was that 990 grams. So didn't really get a good measure on it. I thought it was around 33 to 236 fork. I didn't get a good measure because it was in the net. So I just chucked a tag on it and put it in. So didn't realise actually how big it was. And all the fish downriver seemed to be a lot fatter than the ones caught upriver.
Okay. And so you're 20 minutes into the comp. Correct me if I'm wrong. That was Big Bream. It wasn't Big Bream. Second Big Bream.
No, that was Big Bream. 990 was Big Bream.
Okay.
Yeah. So 990 Big Bream. Alex brought in that big one day 2, which was the same size. So measuring mine at the weigh-in, it was around 36 fork. And his one on day 2 that weighed 920 was also 36 fork. So
yeah, right. Wow, big variance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the first fish, and then it was just pretty much on from there. Fish nonstop.
What you get your first fish on?
So that was on a brim prawn, which was salt and pepper, 50 mil, just on a weedless worm hook, just right on the edge of the snag, and just came straight in the boat on 8 pound.
Okay, very very good, very good. All right. Moving on, what'd you get up to?
So then I wrapped around the corner and did what I usually do across some flats and some deeper channel areas, which tend to need some flow. So usually it's better on a run in, but a little bit of a run out with that fresh water still pushing out. It was a fish every few casts for most of the morning through that area. Managed to get the rest of my bag all on pygmy mussels.
Okay.
I had a little flurry there where I caught my third legal. So I ended up getting the big one, which ended up being the 36 fork. Then moved on, got on the pygmy mussel. I got a 30 forker on a flat. And then straight after that, I got a 26 fork and then upgraded that the next cast to a 27 fork. Then upgraded that the next cast to a 28 fork. And then two casts later, I upgraded that to a 29 fork, which ended up staying in the bag for the rest of the day. So I actually ended up having that full bag probably by 8:30 odd, I reckon, on day one,
Sure.
which meant I could probably spend a little bit more time traveling and look at a few different areas, which I ended up doing on day one. I did a lot more Ks.
Okay. And the idea of that is to you're kind of pre-fishing for day two.
Yeah, definitely. So I ended up all the way right downstream to town. So East Augusta, which sits on the eastern side of town, and then across to the town side as well, over at the town jetties. Sort of did a loop to East Augusta, then across to the town side, then back down through Lion Island. I got fish through all of that sort of area. I did lose one all right fish on Lion Island on a brim prawn, but didn't end up really getting a good hook set on it.
Yeah.
Managed quite a lot of fish down there, but nothing really of decent size. And then just kept pedaling and ended up in West Bay. Didn't catch a fish in there. Then I ended up in North Bay and caught up with Matt McCarthy, who had fished West Bay and that North Bay area for most of the day. And he really didn't find too much down there either. It was pretty barren. With the low tide, they seemed to all push into only a few areas. So it was good to rule that out though, because that comp at the start of the year, West Bay, I actually ended up pulling a couple legals there, or a couple upgrades late on day two, I think, from memory. So I got to rule that out for day two.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. And with your pygmy mussels, first of all, were you on the edges with them, or where were the fish sort of located?
They weren't really on the edges. So down there, typically I like to fish a little bit away from the edges. It was quite a low tide. So usually when we've got high water, they'll sit in that undercut reed areas. But with the low tide, they were just sitting in anywhere from a foot down to a foot and a half, 2 foot was pretty much the key zones, which is usually deeper than that on a high tide, but they seem to be just pushed into this little section.
Yeah. And were you, like you said, there wasn't a lot of current. So how did you work your lures? How did you work the mussels?
So the mussel, it was just to cast it out straight along the deeper area, which I was sitting in. And then it's just a wiggle of the rod tip all the way back, pretty much. So little hop, 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 hops, and then just pause, hop, 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 pause. And then eventually you'll find, like I found the fish would start fighting over it. So it's not really you're working it. You're actually just trying to hook the fish up or try and move it so the little ones can go away and you feel the big one whack it. But yeah, the initial retrieve is just a little tap, 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 tap. While you're sort of not winding the rod, winding the reel at all.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. All right. Like I said, you came back with a really great bag, first place overnight.
Yeah, yep, with a decent lead. I had Billy who got a really good bag upriver. He was, I think, 300 odd grams behind. And then Matt McCarthy, I think, might have been in third with 1.6 or 1.7 kilos. So decent lead, but still coming in first to day two is never easy.
I was going to say it was an interesting top view on day one.
Yeah, and it shuffled around a little bit. Like a few guys did much better upriver on day two. Like Coops's bag day two was really good. Andy smashed it day two as well.
That's right.
And then even Mods did. I think he got one of the bigger bags day two as well, fishing downriver near me as well. I think he moved up like 6 or 7 places.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Yeah, he ended up with just 1.69, which was also quite good on the day two spectrum.
Yeah, well, two bags like that, you'd be in third place.
That's right. What's your plan for day two, mate? What were you thinking?
So ruling out those other few spots downriver, I thought I'd really just focus on that main area and headed back down there and didn't get a fish off the tree. Turns out there was actually some betos that sat on it pretty much all day on day one, Mod said. So he stayed around that area where I got the big one. And, there were two boats sitting on it pretty much all day. So didn't actually get a touch until I got further around and up into a flat. And day two, they were actually up shallower. Whereas the day before it was that sort of like foot and a half. They were even shallower than that. Like I was getting them a foot less than a foot of water up real shallow.
Okay. And that was, did you target them with the pygmy mussel then?
Yeah,
or were you...
everything day 2 came on the pygmy mussel. So I think it was five of the 6 fish were on the pygmy mussel, and then that big one, the big brim, that was on the brim prawns. So
Okay.
yeah, and I just rotated through that spot 3 times in total. So fished it all the way one way, stopped for 10 minutes, had a drink, bit of a rest, then fished it all the way back, stopped,
Yeah.
had a bit of a drink, had a rest, fished it all the way
Yeah.
back, and just did 3 full cycles of that. So six different runs of the same area.
Okay. All right. So from day 1 to day 2, there was a difference in a little bit with where the fish was sitting. Was there any other differences to the way the fish were reacting?
Not really. I probably caught more fish on day 2. So definitely a lot more on day 2. But I think that's just because I stayed in that area a lot more. There were some decent fish on that day.
And with the pygmy mussel, what color were you running?
So that's the 2.2 gram in black.
Okay.
Yeah, which is the dark night one, which is a heavy one as well, the 2.2. So, yeah.
Very good. Now, across the weekend, how'd you go for losing fish? Did you drop any decent ones?
Yeah, only that one on Lion Island, really. Day 2, my bag was very consistent, I guess. I had a couple 31 forkers and a 29 fork. And then I would have caught 4 or 5 other fish that were all 28, 29 fork. Like I kept having to get the balance beam out. So it was very consistent day 2. I didn't really lose any on day 2. It was just probably that one on Lion Island on day 1, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So very, very lucky in the end, but there was a lot of the same size fish. So, I mean, even if I had lost a couple, I think I would have brought in a pretty similar bag, maybe 50 to 100 grams difference both days, but that kicker made the difference.
Yeah. So it's funny because that was the, in the first half an hour of the comp.
Yeah. So, and just a timing thing, really. Like Mods could have gone there first and caught that fish straight up, and I would have missed it because I was stopped 100 metres short of that spot to start with, and sort of caught up to him when we got to the corner. So, fortunately, we got off a little bit earlier on day 1 and day 2, even earlier again. So we had a little bit more time fishing as well. So it's like a 20-minute odd pedal down river to that spot.
Yeah. All right. Last thing with regards to the fishing, what sort of lines and leaders were you running this weekend?
So still all the same setup. So I've got all PE 0.6 braid. So it's about a 12 pound braid, which is the Yamato jigging braid. And then leader on the pygmies, it was all 6 pound. And then on the brim prawn for the big one, that was 8 pound. And I just run the X-Link, the Daiwa in the red spool.
Okay. Nice. And all on the JML rod that we can't get anymore.
Yeah. If anyone's got any of those, I'd pay an absolute premium for them.
There you go. You heard it here.
So, yeah.
Very good. All right, mate. I reckon that's a pretty good rundown. Tell me, what do you get to take home for first place?
Yeah, so grand final, the prizes are always pretty good. We have a pretty good deal going with Lowrance. They sponsor both the boats and the kayaks for the grand final. So got a Elite FS sounder through Lowrance. So that one will probably replace the one on my kayak now.
Yeah, nice.
Which is pretty good. And then $700 cash.
Yep.
And then Big Brim was which they've done the whole kayak series, which is the Samurai rods. So I got new rod for that as well, which it's a fast action one, which I might actually be able to use for the mussels. I think I've got to play around with it. I might be changing. I might change things up a little bit, but we'll see.
I was going to say you need a new rod. You can't have an old rod that you can't buy anymore.
I know, because I'm going to end up snapping a tip here or there over the next year, I think. So I'll be running really real slim. So I've got to find something else that suits. So I might give that a shot, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very, very good. All right. Well, mate. Last thing before that we shoot off, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah. So Michelle from Getaway Outdoors, I mean, they put on barbecue again, like they've done pretty much every kayak event this year, at least every 2-day one. They've been awesome with that. And the service that they provide for all of us with the Hobies and getting any parts or anything sorted has been awesome throughout the year. I'm about to go drop my kayak off for its bit of a makeover. I'm getting them to replace a whole bunch of stuff on it. So big thanks to Getaway Outdoors in Kelmscott. And then all the other boys that help run it behind the scenes. Dave came down and did all the photos and videos again. So, which he doesn't have to do that. He's not competing. We're all sort of run the events for nothing really, other than being able to get to fish them. So big thanks to all the guys that put so much time into it.
Very good, very good. All right, mate. Well, look, congratulations on taking the win for the grand final. Mate, I think you've probably got one more event for the year, the boats.
Yeah, we got the boats in a few weeks. I'm actually about to do a day trip down to Albany tonight. I'm about to leave. It's 6:10. I'm probably leaving about 6:30, I think. I'm going to drive down. I'll have a bit of a nap in the car and then be up fishing in the morning and then drive back, and might even squeeze a couple of hours of work in tomorrow arvo if I get back in time. So,
very good. Very good. All right, mate. Well, look, thank you again for coming on. Congratulations.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Andrew. Really, honestly, that you putting together all these interviews as well has been awesome. So I think there's a couple Albany ones that I'll be listening to on the way down tonight as well.
100%. All right, mate. You have a good trip and we'll talk to you soon.
Easy. Thanks, Andrew.
Okay, so that's it for this one. That wraps up 2025 for the Western Australian Tournament Anglers Kayak and Bream Series. With, of course, Joseph finishing up on top. Great little story. I did enjoy the way Coops was using clips to mix up his lures and just run through a whole bunch of stuff. I think there's a little key there for those who were paying attention. Okay, running around to this weekend. This one's going to be released on the Tuesday, leading into the Hobies on the Georges River. And we've got Battle of the Harveys, the two 14-year-old kids having a crack, going head-to-head. So I can't wait to see what happens there. I will be with Harvey Delphos as his guardian, so we'll be fishing together, and hopefully we can put him onto some fish and see how he goes. Definitely looking forward to that one. All right, if you're looking for a little bit more, definitely jump onto the collective. So lurefishingproject.supercast.com. Jump on over there. There's a couple of different options there depending on your level of support and level of engagement. Anyway, look, I hope you enjoyed this show. Along with a bunch of others, I've still got a bunch in backlog, so I'm just going to keep trying to double up and keep getting the shows out so that you guys can enjoy them. If you've got any comments, this one, a few of these I'm going to edit myself, so if you've got any comments, criticisms, just shoot me a message and I will take that on board. So thanks so much for listening. Let's roll the outros. I'm loving the intros and outros. Tell me what you think of them. I really like them. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Lure Fishing Project. For extra episodes, the Big Bream series and more, join us at the Lure Fishing Project Collective. We'll catch you next time.